first question, are you guys recording this as we talk?
Yes, we are.
Perfect. Because I told everybody that couldn't make it that we were recording it for their listening pleasure later. So my experience with the core was I'd been doing loans for 18 years. Finally heard something on the core, and it really resonated with me that a lot of my business was refi-based, didn't have a lot of agents, and when I looked at my list, I had 4 agents. And so I started doing the core, and the core helped me take my business from refi-driven to within 30 days, I was able to get face-to-face meetings and have people in my pipeline to potentially refer me business up to 4 deals per year. I took that up to 50 agents in 30 days. And so then with the 50 agents, I was able to, I didn't increase my business a ton, but I basically switched my business from 90-10 refi to purchase to 90-10 purchase to refi. And now I had all these agents that were referring business. And then the real killer for me was, GoodWise, was that after about 90 days, between 90 and 120 days, my pipeline exploded. So I went from, I averaged 5 to 7 loans a month. When I looked down at my pipeline in the slowest time of the year, December, January, I had 18 deals in the pipeline, 10 of them were under contract, 8 people were looking for houses, and my phone was ringing faster than I could pick it up. And so as I did the system and I called agents and I met with agents and did everything that the core said, it really helped me turn my business around. And the thing I liked most about the core is it didn't burden me down with 1,000 things to do. It kept it very simple. Pick up the phone. And anybody who, from Loan Simple that's heard me talk, my big thing is the same as what the core says is pick up the phone, stop emailing, stop faxing if anybody faxes anymore, stop texting, and pick up the phone and go meet with people face-to-face, and that changed my business. So, yeah, that was kind of my experience. It blew me away that that could be done just by meeting with people and switching things. And so convincing myself to sit behind the desk to wait for everybody to call and talk to me didn't happen. When I finally got my butt away from my desk, got out of my chair and started meeting people, my business exploded.
That's awesome. Well, my job is done. So,
yeah, so that's all we need. Any questions?
Any questions? We are through here. I'm not sure I can beat that, Eddie. That's amazing. So, yeah, well, thank you so much for that. And, you know, what really impresses me, Eddie, is that, you know, I hear these things all the time, but something that's going to stand out, and hopefully you've got several people on your team and that are on this call that are in that same place. It sounds like from day one you surrendered to the process, and that's why you saw such big results. Because
and I would say this, I would even tell you this, my dirty secret on that is I probably did the program about 65%, and then I'm like, man, if I'd actually given 100%, I can't even imagine what the results would have been, but that was with 65% in where I literally changed it. I didn't even give 100%, which is shameful on my part, but if I'm honest, that's really how it went, and my business still exploded. So for people that give even more and they give 100% the whole time, your business will explode.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, thank you for sharing. And I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about me so that you know who you're talking to. Like I said, my name's Courtney. I've been working for the core for 3.5 years. Our home office, okay, so something a little bit that you guys need to know about us is that all of our coaches, they're actively in the business, and so they're in different markets all across the country. Big markets, small markets, East Coast, West Coast, in the middle, they're in all different markets. But we have a pretty small, or relatively small, home office here in Huntersville, North Carolina, which is about 20 minutes north of uptown Charlotte. Okay, a little bit about my background. I was a realtor in another life. At 22 years old, I decided, hey, I'm going to invest in real estate. I might as well get paid on my deals, and decided to be a realtor. So I was a realtor from 2005 to 2010. I grew up in Maine, and I am so glad they have about 15 feet of snow up there right now. I'm so glad I'm not there. But I relocated to North Carolina 5 years ago, or 4.5 years ago, and it was really just, it was scary for me to become a realtor because I didn't have the structure like the core. I mean, listen, I was a realtor. I did My best year I did 4.4 million. I was very proud of that. I was one of the top producers in my office, but it was really all by luck. I went by my personality. I went by bugging people and asking them what to do, but I had no plan. So had that been different and I had the core in my life, I probably would have started in real estate when I came to North Carolina. But for me, I just said, hey, I need a job. I need a job in sales because that's what I'm good at. I sold cars for 8 months, and then I found this job here at the core, which has been a huge, huge blessing for me and my family. As you can see, my family on the right-hand side, I have a 6-year-old daughter, Eliza, an 8-year-old son, Finnegan, and I've been married for 10 years now. So I got married young, okay? I'm not old. So and I know I wrote here on the slide, too, that prior to being in sales, my husband's a teacher. I went to school to be a teacher, social work. I wanted to do something to help people, but, I mean, we would not be able to do anything on 2 teacher salaries. It's terrible. So this is just really a really great mix, and I know you guys feel it from the lending side. You get to help people. Buying a home is a huge thing. So when you're purchase-driven, that is a life-changing moment in people's lives. I know I just bought a home or built a home in November. So that was a huge thing for us. And so, you know, you have to realize that what you do is changing people's lives, and that's really great. A little bit about Rick Ruby, for those of you who don't know. He works right here out of this office. We're only about 35 people here in this office. Half of them are client care, and then the other half are salespeople like myself and like Eric, who Eddie has been talking with for the past year or two here. Rick is the founder and owner of the Core. He's been a professional mortgage coach for 17 years. He's a 30-year loan rep, and he runs 4 mortgage branches. And the reason why I tell you is because he knows what's going on in the industry. Okay, that's what separates us apart from everybody else. He didn't used to do mortgages 30 years ago. He didn't used to know what was happening. He's current. Okay, we believe in 3 rules. Prospecting as our number 1. Which is what Eddie was talking about. That's how he went from 4 agents to 50 in 30 days. Building a team to cater to your clients. As a salesperson, the kiss of death is feeling like you've gone too far and you've reached your maximum, right? I never, ever, ever, mark my words, I never want to be capped. I'm in a commission job. I want to be able to infinitely grow, and I hope you guys feel the same way. So what we do is we have systems and structure around when to build a team, who to hire, what their job responsibilities look like, so that no matter what, you can continue to grow. And that doesn't mean cloning yourself. That doesn't mean working 100 hours a week and neglecting the things that are important to you, like time with your friends, time with your family, and those type of things. Time by yourself and taking care of yourself. And then the third thing is counting the money. At the end of the day, no matter how much we are about the people around us, we have to work for profit. Some of you, that looks like a bigger house, a bigger savings account, a bigger inheritance for your children. It could be more money to give away to charity. It's just, that's what we are about. Okay, we have 330 level 3 coaching students that pay us $2,500 a month. So this is the real deal, guys. High accountability coaching, no fluff. Okay, so this is really the basics of what we do. And I'm going to break it down for you in a minute, but right now I'm going to give you a quick overview. Okay, so everyone knows, just like Eddie said, you have to get out there. You have to make phone calls. You have to prospect. Okay, so the only way to do that, right, because I know, listen, I know that in order to be fit, I have to eat certain foods and I have to exercise, right? So the difference is, in order to eat certain food, I need to go to the grocery store. So I need to go to the grocery store. I need to buy certain items. I then need to go and prepare on the weekend, because I have a busy life like most of you. I have to prepare on the weekend to cook some of these foods so that I can't lose. I can't get distracted. I can't, oh my gosh, I have no time, I'm pulling into McDonald's. It's the same thing, right? We all know we need to make calls. We all know that we need to prospect. We all know that we need to be proactive in our business, but right now a lot of us don't have the tools in our toolbox to actually make that happen the way that we want to. So what we do is we do a scheduled power hour every single day. I'm going to go into a little bit of detail about what each one of these power hours look like. And then I'm going to show you in particular the 40 realtor list so that you get an idea of when you're on our program, what that looks like and how it's not just a theory and that it's actually super tactical. Okay, so I'm going to jump right in. 40 realtors, that's pretty self-explanatory. I know that seems like a lot, but every single Monday, you're going to call 40 realtors. The purpose of your call is to get an appointment. We are way more powerful face-to-face. So the purpose of your call is to get an appointment. I'm going to skip over that one a little bit because we're going to go in more detail in a minute. Tuesday, status updates. What that looks like is for every single loan that you have in process, you're going to call the buyer agent, the listing agent, the title rep, and the client. Okay, Eddie, did you ever try to do this?
To do my status updates on Tuesdays?
Yeah. Yes.
Absolutely.
Cool. So is that something that you had done prior to the core?
No, there's a lot I didn't do prior to the core. So, I would just update people as I got information, but there wasn't an intentional time to say every Tuesday. If they hadn't heard from me because of some major milestone before that, I would always update everybody on Tuesdays.
Okay, cool. So I know that this is something that's kind of scary for some people, but there are a couple of reasons why you do this. One is that you're going to have a proactive way of dealing with interruptions, right? So I'm a buyer. I'm terrified about whether or not I'm going to qualify for this loan, whether I'm going to get it, whether I'm going to be able to move on time. I've sold my house. I've got a lot of things going on. I may be homeless, right, if this doesn't close. So I'm going to call you every single day because I don't know what the norm is. So when you sit down with me and you say, okay, Mrs. McCarthy, I'm going to call you every single Tuesday without fail. That's key, right? We have to do what we say. Every single Tuesday without fail, I'm going to call you and let you know exactly what's happening throughout this process. Now, just so that you're assured, if you hear from me on a day that's not a Tuesday, I need to make sure that you're committed to calling me right back because that means that, there's something that I need from you. Okay, there's something that I need to let you know. It may sound crazy, but they may ask for your neighbor's daughter's report card. Okay, I know it's nuts, but they may ask for something totally out of the norm that wasn't expected, that I need to provide them, and so I need your commitment that you're going to call me back within that day. Can you promise that for me, Eddie?
Yes.
Okay, so you're letting them know two things. One, I'm consistent. Two, I'm not going to run away from potential problems. And three, that there's an urgency to if I call you and it's not a Tuesday and there's something really important going on. Okay? So those are three. That's something that's going to help you on the buyer side in managing your interruptions. On the listing side, that's a way for you to ask for that meeting with a listing agent. Okay? So the listing agent, if that's a realtor that you're not doing business with, that's a huge opportunity for you. Okay, so you're asking for that appointment. You're showing them that you're consistent. They're seeing how you do your business, whether or not they sent you the deal or the lead in the first place. Okay? And then obviously the buyer agent, same thing, it's that consistency. Wednesdays, you're going to call on pre-apps. What that means is that every single person that you have pre-approved or pre-qualified for a mortgage loan, you're going to call them on Wednesday. Okay? Have you found a house yet? How's the search going? Are you still working with Susie Realtor? Okay? So that gives you an opportunity to talk great about the realtor that they're using. That gives you an opportunity to make sure that they don't go to somebody else. I think sometimes people think they sat down, they did an application for me, they're mine. Well, guess what? That's not always the case, guys. Sometimes things come up and they get distracted and they can't buy right away. Something happens. We all have lives. So if this goes on for 3, 4, 5 months and you're not consistent in follow-up, then guess what? They may hear from somebody else that they got a cheaper rate somewhere, and they're not loyal to you because you haven't shown that you care about them. Okay, this is really important, especially if you're busy. Thursdays, you're going to call your top 50 past clients. Okay, that should be pretty easy. So your top 50 past clients, same thing, refer them. They have referrals for you. Shame on you if you call somebody and they've moved and you didn't know about it, right? Or they've refinanced and you didn't know about it. That's your fault, right? I'm just like the rest of you. I want to blame somebody else that stole your client, but it's your fault. So we got to take ownership. We need to make sure that we have a system. That does not mean 50 people all every single Thursday. That means you're going to call 12. Okay, so you're going to go, so throughout the month you're calling 50 of your top 50 past clients. Friday is top 50 favorite people. Let me explain what favorite people means. Okay, it could be business people. Obvious one right now, it's tax time. Okay, it's tax time. People are seeing financial planners. They're seeing CPAs. Imagine if I was in there complaining about the amount of taxes that I paid and I'm renting. Someone said, you know what, if you bought a house, you could write off your your interest. You know what, I actually know somebody, my friend Eddie Stephen, he is a loan officer and he's going to do a great job. Why don't you give him a call? Right? Better yet, I'm going to introduce you guys. I'm going to give him your name as well. Is that okay? Right? So CPAs, divorce attorneys are another person that you could put on there. They have the ability to refer you a lot of business. HR people for relocation, that's huge. And then lastly, you have to think outside the box. So your favorite people are anybody that can refer you a lot of people. So I had a client, and I'll just share a quick story with you. I had a client that when I was explaining who this was, he said, you know what, my Starbucks barista has sent me 6 closed transactions in the past 3 years. Starbucks, okay? I know every single person that works at Starbucks. I'm addicted, okay? I'm an addict, I'll admit it. But I go to the same place every single morning. They say, hey, Courtney, the usual? And I say, yes. And I talk with them. Well, if that's somebody that can refer me a lot of business, I want to make sure that I go out of my way to take care of them. Okay? It could be your dry cleaner. It could be your hairdresser. It could be your neighbor who's on the student council or your mother-in-law. You get my point? Okay? So your 50 favorite people, it could be somebody that runs a charity event and deals with a lot of wealthy people. Okay? So you need to make sure that you're hanging out with the people and that you're taking care of the people that you want to be in relationships with and that have the ability to refer you strongly to others, because it's going to help you get business in the long term. And I don't want you to be fake about it, okay? If it's somebody that can refer you business and you hate them, please do yourself a favor and don't work with them. Eddie, have you ever gone after somebody that you totally despise?
You know, I stopped doing that a real long time ago. I'm never so desperate where I'll work with someone that I don't get along with. So if I don't enjoy working with them, we don't work together.
Good, good. I bet that if I open up the lines, which I'm not going to do because it never fails that someone has hold music or something totally obnoxious, but if I want everyone to sit and do a self-check, hey, have you ever taken a deal from somebody that you absolutely despise or work with somebody that you knew ahead of time, right? There's difference when you find out in the middle of the deal. But if you know ahead of time that you don't want to work with them, it's bad for business. This is a relationship business, guys. You need to make sure that you're working with and going after people that you have a commonality with, people that you respect what they're about, okay? So that's your scheduled power hours. You're going to, once you're involved with the core, once you're signed up for 12 steps to double your income, you're going to be implementing these power hours. And, you know, we have, this isn't like, hey, tomorrow get up and do all of this. There's a structure behind it, so don't freak out. Okay, I'm not going to make you sign up for a marathon tomorrow. I would die. Okay, I'm not a runner. I would pass out mid-stride. This is a process, so it's not as scary as it looks. So Monday Realtor List. So Monday Realtor List, this is when I say that it's more detailed, this is what I mean. This is the form. Okay, seems pretty simple, but there's a lot to it. So you're going to start with a qualified list of realtors. That goes with realtors that not only you like, because I mentioned that before, but ones that do at least $3 to $5 million in volume. Okay? They need to have deals to send to you. So that doesn't mean you can't work with anybody else. That just means these are the people that you're going after. So then you're going to take them and rate them as an A, B, or C. An A realtor sends you over 4 deals per year. A B realtor is one that sends you 2 deals a year, and a C realtor is one that maybe you haven't done business with or sends you 1 deal a year. Okay? You're going to call them every single Monday, and these are the things you need to know about them. You need to know their name, their phone number, their email, their birthday, because we're going to help you with a birthday program, their hobbies, so that you can be in better relationship with them, and then the number of families that they've helped this year. That's a very nice way to ask somebody how much volume are you doing, okay? So I'm going to give you an example here. An A realtor, Chris Alex, he likes golfing, okay? So maybe I invite him out to golf if I'm a golfer. Here are the rest. So we've got Jenny Jones. So if you notice here, and this is why we track it, because sometimes when you track things and you look at the numbers, you notice some things. So I want you to notice Chris Alex right here. He has helped 20 families this year, and he's an A realtor, meaning he sent me over 4 deals. That's a really good conversion. Then we've got Jenny Jones, okay, big realtor, done 50 transactions. Well, she's a B realtor. She hasn't sent me more than 3 deals out of her 50. That's a relationship that I'm not getting all of her business. So I need to work on that relationship, okay? So I need you guys to really see that's why we track these things. Because as far as I'm concerned, if I get 3 deals from a realtor, that's a really good realtor for me. But if I realize that they're giving a lot of loans to somebody else, I need to figure out why. Why isn't she sending me more deals? That's going to be really eye-opening for you guys. Okay? So your ultimate goal is to have 20 realtors that do $3 million or more in volume that send you all of their business and are your best friends. When I say best friends, I mean backyard barbecues. I mean you want to go on double dates with them. This isn't a fake relationship, guys. This is people that you actually care about. All right, keys to getting it done. Plan your day. So I'm just going to throw a few short tactics at you. So spend 15 minutes each day identifying the 3 things you will do proactively to make money. Not answer my phone. It needs to be, I'm going to call. There's a difference. Okay? Limit distractions. Okay, so here's the thing. I'm going to let the cat out of the bag in case you haven't already figured it out. I am super ADD all over the place. Okay? I have a crazy amount of energy. I could just run around in circles. But I really, I mean, if you looked at my desk right now, please don't tell Rick, it is a mess. But I know that I need to, before I make power hour calls, I need to go ahead and I need to use the restroom. I need to get a drink of water. I need to have a list. I need to lock myself in a room and not lock everybody out, shut off my email, shut off my cell phone, and just focus and do it. Because what happens is I make a couple calls, I see an email pop in, it prompts me to look something up on the computer, on Google. I spend a few minutes in Google. I see a picture of a cheeseburger. I say, oh, I'm hungry. I want a snack. And I go into the kitchen. I see somebody on the way. They start talking about their weekend. Next thing you know, I've missed 30 minutes. And please tell me I'm not the only one who does that. Eddie, do you do that? Are you like that?
Yeah, I had to get off Facebook for this year, so I sent a brief message saying I won't be on Facebook in 2015, and so far I've held to that. So I totally agree. But what I tell all my salespeople is we're all ADD, whether you're diagnosed or not. That's why we're good salespeople.
Yes, that's why people love my energy. They're like, Courtney, what the heck? I'm like, no, I drink 12 cups of coffee, which is true, but I'm glad I'm not the only crazy person. You guys are going to be like, who is this chick? But if you're honest with yourself, there are probably some similarities, okay? So shut up your computer screen during your power hour. That's why we have a printed list. Shut the door to your office or go into a conference room, wherever you have space that you can be uninterrupted. Get a glass of water, get a snack. Because, listen, if I don't plan my lunch or if I don't eat, I'm grumpy, and then I wonder why people don't like me, okay? So make sure you have a snack, and then take potty breaks right before, okay? Follow your schedule. So every single morning, my assistant, she prints my schedule, prints it. I know we all have it on our phone. We have it on our computer. It's from Outlook. It's from the computer, but she prints it so that I have it. So I need to follow my schedule, drop what you're doing when the time allotted is over, and move on to the next item. It doesn't matter if it's done or not. Drop it, okay? You'll figure it out. You'll figure out how much time you need for things. Schedule time later in the week or evening to complete things that you didn't finish. So I literally, for a while, I had like 12 to-do lists, which was a really bad idea. And so now I have a to-do list for every single day of the week. So if I don't finish something on Monday, it automatically gets crossed off like I did it and moved on to my Tuesday to-do list. Or I stay late and get it done, depending on what the item is. Okay, I can't have 12 to-do lists on my desks. It distracts me. I stare at them all day when I'm in the middle of a phone call, and then I lose where I'm at. Okay, so you need to do things to follow your schedule, complete things, and make sure that you have a proactive approach to your day. Okay, so who is your coach? So I mentioned before that we have all of our coaches are actively in the business. I'm going to give you some quick stats about our coaches. In 2014, so these are our most recent stats, 10 of our 28 coaches made over $1 million in personal production commissions. Okay? So I need you to understand, our top coach made $5 million last year. A lot of our coaches, just by nature of being the best at their company, at their branch, or what have you, a lot of them are producing branch managers. They've worked their ways through the rank to that role. So just because they made over $1 million in personal production commissions, that doesn't count the overrides that they might get or the different types of bonus structures that they have. We're just talking straight up, this is what they earned in personal commissions, okay? So a lot of these numbers, if we did it the other way and it was actually just the amount of money that they made, then that number 10 would go to about 22, okay? We have, like I mentioned before, we have 330 level 3 clients that pay us $2,500 per month to be coached. In 2014, 22 of our 303 clients, because we grew, right, made over $900,000 in personal production income. Again, not counting any overrides or branch money that they may get. So we are the #1 ranked coaching company in the nation for loan officers. Just like Eddie, we have hundreds of people that have the same story. My income went from here to here. I joined the Corps, and I paid off my debt. I work less hours. I'm making more, and I have a better, well-balanced life. Okay? Let's talk about 12 steps. So the best place for you guys to start, if you make less than $250,000, this is where you need to start with us. If you make over $250,000, then you should still do the 12 steps until you can come out and see us live at a summit. I'm going to talk a little bit about 12 steps, and then Eddie, I'm going to ask you a little bit about your experience because I know you came out to a summit before.
Yep.
But let's start with 12 steps. So 12 steps, $3.99 a month. If we've got a group of 10 or more, then it goes down to $2.99 a month. Okay? What you get for that, the difference, or let me explain it this way, the difference between this program, 12 steps, and the level 3 coaching where they're paying $2,500 is the level at which you're held accountable. Okay? So if you sign up for 12 steps, I need to know that you're motivated, that you're driven, that you've surrendered, and that you're willing to be a good student. Because in our level 3 coaching, you're being pounded if you're not getting it done. Right? We know it works. We're charging $2,500 a month essentially to be held super, super accountable. It's like a personal trainer. To use a gym analogy, this is a membership to the best gym with the best structure, with a written list, with someone showing you the exercises of exactly what you need to do. Kind of like, we'll call it CrossFit. Okay? So you know exactly what the exercises are, but you have to do it on your own. Level 3 is the personal trainer. Okay? The personal trainer who actually, you say that you did 25 push-ups, but they saw you do 23. You can't get away with it. Okay? So every single month, this program was strategically designed by Rick and Todd. And what they did is they said, hey, we want to take everything that we teach our level 3 coaching students for $2,500 a month, and we want to make it accessible for everybody. So we're going to take what they learn, and we're going to break it down into 12 steps, so that over a year's worth of time, they've completely transformed their business and are ready for the next step when they're finished. So what that looks like is month 1 is initial contact. Okay, so with initial contact, some of the things that we went over today will be touched on that. So, okay, PowerPoint stopped working. Okay, so, oh my gosh. There goes my presentation. Well, let me just talk for a second here. I've got a backup plan. I know what I'm talking about. So you guys just get to listen to my lovely voice. So month 1 is initial contact. You're going to watch a 10-minute and 40-second video by Rick Ruby talking about initial contact, why it's important, who to call, what to say, and assign you specific homework. Then you're going to listen to 2 of our coaches, Dave Kammerer and Greg Gale. Okay, they're both making over $1 million a year, talk about initial contact, why it's important, who they call, and what their job responsibilities look like. Okay? So they tell you exactly how to get Rick's work done. Exactly. They give you all the forms like that 40 Realtor list, and we have forms for everything so you can track it so that you can get everything you're done. Then at the end of that month or the end of that 30 days of you implementing, that's the key, implementing the tactics, your self-accountability is to take that you have a quiz. It's an 8-question quiz. You go through and you make sure that you actually did the work. Okay, that's your accountability. Throughout the process, you do have a contact here at the office. Eric Bierke is the one who's going to be in charge of this account, so you'll hear from Eric. Eric is your person that's going to help you walk through the steps. So let me go over just the different steps. We've got month 1, initial contact. Month 2, tracking and knowing your numbers. Month 3, basic lists and target marketing. 4 is rapport building. 5, organization. 6, time blocking. 7, mastering the close. 8, reading and mastering guidelines. 9, setting up and turning in a great loan file. 10 is follow-up. 11 is emotions and psychology of the business. And 12 is goal setting and business planning. Okay? So you're not left out there completely all alone. Like I mentioned, we're very small in-house. I'm exposed to Rick Ruby every day. So is Eric. And so we know what we teach inside and out. So he'll be the person to check in with you. He'll be the person that if you have a question that you contact him. Let me give you Eric's contact information, and we'll make sure that we email this out as well, especially since it's not up on the screen. But Eric's direct line is 704-896-0568. That's 704-896-0568. And his email is Eric, E-R-I-C, @thecoretraining.com. Okay? So, Eddie, do you have any questions about what 12 steps is, or things that you think that I might have missed that your people might have questions about?
No, but I think the interesting thing on that 12 steps is it goes along with the philosophy of prospecting is always before working on business. And so the last steps later towards are mastering guidelines, how to put together a file and things like that. The whole first part is how do you set up the business? Where do you find the business? How do you set up your referral partners before we work on the business? And so I think that's key because that's the biggest part of the program is prospecting should be, 75% of your time. Working on the business should be 25% of your time.
Yeah, more leads solve all problems, period.
Yeah.
So that's where we're going to start. We want to make sure, you get more leads and then you're not worried about how you're going to feed your family. So we want to tighten up our systems and structures so that you maintain the relationships that you get, but it's about going out and generating those leads. So I will caution you guys, we can go ahead and get you signed up. Like I said, you can call Eric, you can email Eric, and he can get you signed up right away. Only sign up if you are ready to put in the work. Okay, I want to just throw out there is a misconception that there is a magic pill out there, and if you find it, please let me know. But as far as I'm concerned, there is no magic pill to help you increase your business. You can, yes, if you want to go out and pay for leads, they can probably get you more leads, but they're not better leads. They're not qualified leads. You will waste your time with them. So with us, we want to teach you how to fish instead of give you fish, and you will have a changed business. You will have a changed life if you do the work. So if you're going to be that person that signs up and expects that it's just going to happen overnight or expects that just by signing up you're going to get business through osmosis, please don't sign up. I don't want to hear that the core didn't work because you didn't do the work. It works if you do the work. Eddie, just very briefly, you came out to our summit. For anybody that's on the line that makes over $200,000, what was your experience at the summit like?
So the cool thing about the summit was when I went there, I intentionally, at every function, every dinner, every lunch, Any place that we sat, I always sat with somebody different because I wanted to talk to as many people as possible when I was out there. And the thing that blew me away, and this is legit, you guys could, anybody that goes to a summit will find this out for yourselves. Anybody I talked to was more than happy to share everything that they did to make them successful. They would share their processes, who they talked to, how their files went in, how their files went out, how they set up realtor appointments, everything, because their whole point was somebody shared it with them when they were in the core. And every coach was more than happy to say, this is what I did, this is what you would need to do. Whereas a lot of things you go to where people are selling something, they're like, they kind of hoard it like it's the, the ring from Lord of the Rings, where it's their precious, and they don't want to share it because they're so convinced that it's going to take away from their business. Everybody at the core's philosophy was, hey, I only need 40 referral partners. I'm more than happy to share with you what we do because I need 40. You could have 40 next door to me, and we both make a lot of money, and that's okay. And I've never seen a program where everybody was so willing to share information as they did when I was at the summit.
Yeah, so it's like that attitude of giver's gain, right? So if you guys sit and do the math, okay, if our top coach is making $5 million a year and he works 45 hours a week, go ahead and calculate his hourly rate, okay? Now, I can promise you that the time that he spends as a core coach, that he does not get paid that hourly rate, okay? I can promise you that, 100%, okay? The reason why these coaches are coaches is because the core changed their life. Plain and simple. The core changed their life, and they want to share it with others. And there are way more realtors out there than there are lenders. And I need you guys. I know some people struggle with closing. Some people struggle with making the call. Some people struggle with getting up at bat. The reality is you need to believe in yourself so strongly and your skills that it is your responsibility to get as much business as possible, because no one else is going to give their clients the amount of care that you are. No one else is going to do the job as well as you can. That would literally be the only thing holding you back. Okay? I talk on the phone all day long. You guys can't punch me. You may hate me right now, but guess what? You can't punch me. You can't hurt me. It's way scarier to meet people face to face. Okay? So listen, I appreciate your time today. Eddie, I really appreciate you. I know that you're going to lead by example and get signed up. Is that right?
Yeah, well, I don't, since I'm not producing, we'll talk.
Okay, your leader is making excuses. No, I understand. So what I want you guys to do with, I know that basically what Eric has shared with me, Eddie, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that a lot of your job responsibility is training and coaching these guys. Is that correct?
Correct. Yep.
Okay, so if you guys care about Eddie and you want to make it easier on him to an extent, it will be a lot easier for him to hold you accountable to the coaching that we teach than to coach you from scratch. Is that true?
Yeah, and I would tell people this. Don't cheap out on your success. Don't, be willing to invest in yourself. Yes, it's $400 a month. I get it. But if you're not willing to invest in yourself, then don't expect other people to invest in you either.
Right.
And so we try hard to do it as a company, but be willing to spend money, invest in yourself, and do the work. And you'll be hugely successful. No one who's ever done it and done the work, I would imagine, in the core has ever regretted it.
No, and I will tell you, in our Level 3 coaching, that's $2,500 a month, we actually have guarantees on people's success. And the reason why we can do that is because we collect all their homework, we monitor their attendance, we know that they're doing the work, okay? So we guarantee that over a 2-year period that they double their income and double their savings in writing, or we give them half of their money back. This is a lot of money, okay? So we guarantee it in writing. With the 12 steps, you guys have to be accountable, but you need to know, just like Eddie, that it works. If you do it, it works. But I can't guarantee that for you because I don't know how committed you are. So I need to know that you're committed. If you're committed, you'll rise to the ranks of the company, and you'll be the next stud. Okay? So thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it. I apologize that my webinar went blank on you. But if you have any questions.
Over here. Can you guys see it? I kind of took over and posted it. Are you guys seeing the pages now?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
There was one question from Kathy that I wanted to answer quickly because it was a simple question. Sorry for interrupting, Courtney.
That's okay.
So she said, hey, if we do our status updates on Friday and call our favorite people on Tuesday, is that still following the program? It's a really good question. First, I would ask you why that's what you're doing, if you're already doing it. And secondly, as long as you're doing it, you're doing mostly the program. Okay? That's the answer to that. You're pretty close. You're not following it verbatim if you're doing your status updates on Friday and your favorite people on Tuesday, but it is pretty close. And I guess that depends on if you want to be pretty close to following the core or 100% follow the core on how you would follow that. What do you think of that, Eddie?
I think consistency is the key. So if you tell people I'm going to call you every Friday versus Tuesday, call them every Friday versus Tuesday. But you have to be consistent because too many loan officers will call them once, and then they won't call them for 3 weeks, and they'll call them again, and it's the consistency. So I agree that it's not exactly like that, but the consistency is the big thing. If you want to set Friday for every Friday, then do it.
That's a good point. So the main point of the status updates, Kathy, and anybody else that had a similar question, is that you do it the same day, every single week, and that you set the expectations and you fulfill them.
So that's actually really funny, Eric, that you took over because I have no idea. My screen is literally shut off. So just so that you guys know, literally when my computer went down is when I stopped reading the slides. So if they were actually on point, I'd like to give myself a round of applause for actually doing this webinar enough times that I have a structure and a system around it that I can, show you guys, our product very, very well. Sorry, I had to toot my own horn for a second there because I've been staring at a blank screen for about 15 minutes.
That is incredibly impressive.
We'll go for my team, right, Eddie? So
yes.
Thank you from your team. Call Eric, and I look forward to seeing lots of you at the summit in our near future and hearing all about your success through Eric. Talk to you soon. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for your time, guys.
Bye, Court. Hey, Eddie, I'll shoot you an email by the end of the day with the recording of this, and
Perfect.
That way you can post it to your guys' SkyDrive or whatever, okay?
Yeah, awesome. I'll put it in there, and then shoot me anything if you want me to send it on to the loan officers as well, and I can pass that along.
Yeah, I'll attach to the registration form when I send you the link. Thanks for helping this get organized, Eddie. Bye, everybody.
Yeah, thanks for your time, guys.